This is not home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the US.
What the Kansas City is not in Kansas. What the what?
Chicago, Illinois, America's third largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the fourth largest city,
Wait.
Houston, Texas.
Chicago is not a state. I thought Chicago was a state.
This is Every State in the US by Wendover Productions.
Let's
made
go.
Possible by the Great Courses Plus. We'll start with Alabama, the first state alphabetically.
Alabama.
Magnolia Springs, Alabama.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide. I love Alabama. Alabama. I'm from Alabama, Oklahoma, Alabama to Tennessee, Nashville. I'm so sorry. That was bad. That was terrible accent from me. Oh my God, I'm already sweating. Oh, but yeah, I love the American culture. I love learning about America. So Alabama, the only reason I know about Roll Tide because I've been reacting on the college games. I love the college. Oh my God, the college sport in America. Alabama, Oklahoma, LSU, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. I found out there's 2 Virginias. So North Carolina, South Carolina. Is that West Carolina? There's West Carolina. So yeah, this is gonna be a nice video because we're gonna learn about every single state in America. I think I want to go to. I don't know why. Keep saying Texas. I want to go to Texas so bad. Texas, places like Chicago. I don't want to be like the normal tourist. I don't want to go to New York, Los Angeles. Come on, California. I will go there. And Washington. I want to go Washington as well. Because of Marek, one of the biggest supporters. He's been supporting me on YouTube for the last 2 years. Marek lives in Washington. I love to go Washington. So yeah, also because I love Iken a lot. So I'm always in Scotland. You guys check my main page. I love Iken. So I want to go to states where it allows me to travel and hike. But I don't want to see any lions or bear. I don't want to see a brown bear, grizzly bear. You guys have some crazy animals. When I'm hiking around Scotland, like I'm going through a forest and there's no bad animals. But you guys have some scary animals over there. Fuck. Let's go. Alabama,
is
Roll
the
Tide.
only town in America to have their mail delivered by boat. Although the
boat?
longest mail delivery route in America is in rural Oklahoma, where delivery
Boat?
drivers have to drive 187.6 miles each day to deliver the mail to around 200 houses. Oklahoma's state vegetable is the watermelon.
Why? Can they not develop the transport system better? 187 miles. You bet if I'm delivering something to you and I'm traveling 180 miles, you better be home to accept it. You better be home. But I feel like it's one of them areas where everyone knows each other. So if you're not home, your neighbor will be like, yeah. Come here, boy. Sorry. Bear big boy, come here. Sorry. What the fuck? Sorry. See, blame American TV. Because that's the way they make people from all these places sound like. Yeah, back in my day now. Sorry. Oh God. I'm trying to have an American accent, but I can't because they... See, I grew up in Ireland. I live in England. And I'm always in Scotland. So I've got the craziest amount of accents. Every accent. British. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry. Let's continue.
Melon, which happens to be a fruit. And Oklahoma is also home to Kansas, the town. The real Kansas, or more specifically this point, is the geographic center of the contiguous United States. What Kansas
Shout out to Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes. Shout out to you guys.
is not home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the US.
What the Kansas City is not in Kansas. What the what? What? I never knew that. I never knew that. That makes no sense. Kansas is in Missouri. Kansas City is in Missouri. Let's go back. Let's watch that again. That makes no sense to me.
Home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the US is. The average location of every American. Missouri borders 8 states, and is therefore tied with Tennessee as the state that borders the most other states.
Okay.
Tennessee was a southern state that seceded from the United States and joined the Confederacy, except for Scott County, which seceded from Tennessee and formed the unrecognized independent state. Scott County didn't actually officially rejoin Tennessee until 1986. Tennessee's western border was originally defined by the course of the Mississippi River, which has since changed course, which has led to all these enclaves and exclaves of the 2 states on the 2 sides of the river. The Arkansas River, a major tributary of the Mississippi, begins all the way in Colorado, where nobody's entirely sure which mountain is the tallest, Mount Elbert or Mount Massive. Since
Colorado, that's where they cool out. There's so many animals there. You can go Is that Colorado? Denver, Colorado. Is that it? I know so much about this country, man. You think I live in the United States? So I'm the kind of person that when I'm interested in something, I dedicate my time. Like I've watched hours of documentaries about places in the US. Hours. One of my favorite YouTube channels is the Outdoor Boys. If you know the Outdoor Boys, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. It's this lovely guy. He takes his kids out to hike and all that, and they do the most wild, amazing wild camping. What a guy, legend. It's something that he motivated me so much that I can't wait to have my own kids, to just take them camping, hiking, spending time. Oh, I can't wait. I'd love to go camping in the US. It'd be pretty cool. I'm only starting camping in Scotland. So I live in England, but I'm always traveling, exploring Scotland. So I'm only starting wild camping in Scotland. So I'd love to do that in America. It'd be crazy to see what it's like.
Their heights are within 10 feet of each other, and people keep building piles of rocks on the summits to make one mountain taller than the other. Colorado is also home to America's longest continuous street, Colfax Avenue in Denver, at 26 miles long. But the shortest individually named street in America is reportedly McKinley Street in Bellefontaine, Ohio, at a mere 28 feet long. Ohio's northernmost point is actually north of Canada's southernmost point, Pelee Island.
Fun fact, the longest street in the UK, I've been to it. It's in Scotland. What's it called again? I walked there. There's a video I made about it, actually, on my main channel, on my vlog channel. What's it called? It's a street in Glasgow. It's about, how long is it? Probably just over 3-4 miles. No, it's not up to 3 miles. Is it 3 miles? Probably just about 3 miles, I'd say. Yeah. That's a long street for us.
Pelee Island, Canada, in fact, is farther south than parts of 27 states, including California, which as a state has a higher population than the entire country of Canada. Los Angeles, California, despite being on the Pacific Ocean, is east of 6 state capitals, including Nevada's. Nevada has the point in the entire United States where you're farthest from a McDonald's, only 116 miles. Although Nevada is not the state with the fewest McDonald's. That title goes to the state with 29 McDonald's, North Dakota, which according to some legal experts wasn't technically a
Sorry, I know North Dakota. I only know about Dakota from watching Big Bang Theory. What's her name? The girl from Big Bang Theory. She's from Dakota. See, all these little things that they drop, people don't realize. Because when I see my niece, when she watches Miss Rachel, literally, she knows so much about American culture now. Because the way you guys talk, she talks like that as well. So I feel like you guys literally, you guys put all this little stuff in our head from when we're young. That when we grow older, we're like, oh, like the way I spell stuff, like color. I think you guys spell it C-O-L-O-U-R. While in the UK, I think it's C-O-L-O-R, or the other way around. But I spell mine the way you guys spell it. People are like, why are you spelling like that? There's so many things I say that's been Americanized just by watching American shows. Your culture literally has a massive impact on Europe. Kids grow up dressing like Americans, literally all over Europe, all over. Literally, if I step out now and I walk around the city center, I'm gonna see one person wearing a snapback of a logo from any place in America. It could be A for America, for Alabama. It could be NY for New York City. It could be what's the Los Angeles one? Is it L? Just L? Can't remember. Is it? What's the one about the Oakland Raiders? That's popular everywhere. So America has a massive impact. Don't let when people say, "Oh, America," when people say America, just like to say Europe as tiny. We are tiny. Literally, we are tiny to you. The whole of Europe is tiny. Whenever I think of how big the United States is, oh my God! But obviously, it's good to learn and see what's out there because you never know. You just never know what you might be into. So yeah, check out there. Come to Europe, like you guys call it. Yes, you guys, when people go to like Spain, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to Europe." But where in Europe are you going? Where in Europe? To be fair, you can go to like 7 countries in like 2 days if you want to. It's all close to each other.
State until 2012, since their constitution was missing this sentence, which meant it didn't fulfill the federal requirement for statehood. Despite having the fewest McDonald's, North Dakota is not America's least populated state. That's Wyoming, which has 2 sets of escalators in the entire state. Wyoming is well known for hosting Yellowstone National Park, although a bit of it spills over into Idaho. Though in this section, you can get away with murder. You see, with the Sixth Amendment, if you're placed on trial, it's required that you are judged by a jury of your peers, which means individuals from the same state and federal district as where the crime was committed.
Okay.
Yellowstone is its own federal district, meaning you need residents from Yellowstone to be on the jury. Although if you were in the Idaho part, you need Yellowstone residents from Idaho to be on the jury. Except this 50 square mile section is entirely uninhabited, so they wouldn't be able to form a jury, which means you'd walk free. There's also one single road connecting the entire southern section of Idaho to the northern section. Idaho, with its fairly low population, has one single telephone area code for the whole state, just like neighboring Montana. Montana is home to the least busy commercial.
See? That shows how tiny the UK is. The UK has. Actually, what am I saying? Let me just relax now. Oh God, let me just relax. Sorry, we have this different. Sorry, my bad. I was gonna say we have only one telephone code. Sorry, each city has their own. I'm sorry. Continue. Sorry.
Airport in the US, Dawson Community Airport, at 4,000 passengers per year, or about 11 per day.
11.
Missoula, Montana is also home to the warehouse of DFTBA, where you can buy one of these, a Wendover Productions t-shirts, for only $20. The link is in the description. The busiest airport in America is Atlanta's, at 49 million passengers per year, or 135,000 per day. Peachtree, a suburb of Atlanta, is a community that has 90 miles of golf cart specific roads adjacent to its normal roads, since 9,000 families here have golf carts as their second cars. Kids are even encouraged to drive to school from the age of 12 in their golf carts. Georgia, or more specifically Springer Mountain, Georgia, is the start to the
Atlanta is in Georgia, right? And I know Atlanta is majorly. Let's use something else. It's majorly black. Majorly, I think it is, isn't it? Because whenever I see most things happening in the US, that's black. It's Atlanta, Georgia. Rappers, music, literally food. I think food could go to, like, Texas, Louisiana, but like most black stuff that we see online tends to be from Atlanta, literally.
2,200-mile long Appalachian Trail, which is a hiking trail that terminates all the way up at Mount Katahdin, Maine. Wow. Maine is the only state in America to only border one other state, and it's also the closest state to Africa.
Oh.
Seriously, it's closer than Florida. The second closest state to Africa is Massachusetts, or more specifically Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is technically an island, since a man-made canal separates it from the mainland. Massachusetts is actually farther from Miami than Panama City is. And Miami is closer to the country capitals of Nassau, Bahama, and Havana, Cuba than its own state capital, Tallahassee. Florida has the lowest, highest point.
Is Miami that close to the Caribbean then? No wonder. Oh, that's why you just get Americans going there for the weekend. What's the thing that college students do? I forgot now. Yeah, but they tend to just fly out for the weekend. So it's only about an hour, I'd say, they fly from Miami to the Bahamas. I'm guessing. It's got to be, because if it's that close. Let me ask Siri real quick. Hey Siri, how far is the flight from the Bahamas to Miami?
Check it out.
God, I have to go check the web now. 1 second. She just asking you to tell me. 52 minutes from Nassau, Bahamas to Miami, Florida. 52 minutes. Nah. 52 minutes. Bro. That's close. That's like flying from Ireland to England. Your neighbors. You're literally neighbors. Wow.
Point of any state, 312 feet, 23 times lower than South Dakota's highest point. South Dakota is home to the geographic center of the entire United States, if you include Alaska and Hawaii, and it was made a state a mere 9 days before Washington, which was called Columbia before it became a state. Its name was changed as to not confuse it with the District of Columbia, but obviously that didn't work out, since DC City ended up being called Washington. Washington Place is the official residence of Hawaii's governor. and Hawaii was given its own unique currency during World War II that was its only legal tender, so that, in case the Japanese successfully invaded Hawaii, the federal government could declare all of Hawaii's currency worthless to prevent the Japanese from using it. The closest state to Hawaii is Alaska, whose capital, Juneau, has no roads connecting it with the rest of Alaska or North America, meaning you can't drive in or out. Alaska is also one of the 4 states that completely bans outdoor billboards, along with Hawaii, Maine, and Vermont, whose tallest building is only 11 stories tall. That's the shortest, tallest building of any state. The tallest building in the states is Freedom Tower in New York. New York is home to Ellis Island, or at least part of it. Their territory is completely surrounded by New Jersey, similar to Liberty Island, home to the Statue of Liberty, which is completely surrounded by New Jersey waters, which means you need to travel through New Jersey to get from New York to New York. Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey has America's longest red light, a full 5-minute wait. New Jersey actually goes surprisingly
5 minutes. Because when I'm driving down here and anything more than 45 seconds, anything more than a minute is long. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You know you can do in 5 minutes. Sorry. My dirty mind. My girlfriend, if you're watching, I'm sorry for using all these references. My bad. Let's continue.
Farther south than Kentucky's northernmost point. In its southwest corner, Kentucky has a rather large piece of territory that's not actually connected to the rest of Kentucky. Kentucky was the birthplace of Lincoln, who was later elected to the Illinois House of Representatives, and in Illinois is the original Burger King. But it's not the Burger King you're thinking of. This Burger King existed before this Burger King, and therefore sued Burger King when they came to Illinois for trademark infringement and won. So now no Burger King is allowed to operate within a 20-mile radius of this original Burger King. Chicago, Illinois, America's 3rd largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the 4th largest city,
Wait.
Houston, Texas.
Chicago is not a state. I thought Chicago was a state. What? So Chicago is a city in Bro. Learning history in America must have been great. I thought Chicago was its own state. Wow.
20-mile radius of this original Burger King. Chicago, Illinois, America's 3rd largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the 4th largest city, Houston, Texas. And Texas is so enormous that El Paso, Texas is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Houston, Texas.
What?
Texas's northernmost point is also
That makes
closer
no
to
sense.
Michigan than it is to its southernmost point. From Detroit, Michigan, you actually end up in Canada if you travel due south. And Michigan is the only state to be made of 2 entirely separated sections. Michigan's Highway 185 is actually a bike path, making it the only official highway in America where cars are banned. Michigan's Upper Peninsula is also only connected by land to Wisconsin, which is home to the Green Bay Packers, a team so popular that the waiting list for season tickets is 30 years long. It's so long that it's common for parents to put their kid's name on the list as soon as they're born. In Watertown, Wisconsin is Utah Street, but the real Utah has the longest section of interstate in the US with
As soon as you're born, 30 years. Because I waiting for, I think one of the biggest waiting lists in the UK has to be Celtic and Rangers. Like I think it's like a few years, definitely a few years for Celtic, Rangers, Man United, Liverpool, teams like that. You know they've got so much history, but they have 30 years. Cause I know you guys love your football, you guys love your American football. I've been getting into it, and I've noticed that you guys love the college version more than the NFL version. And also, I only learned about franchise. So sometimes the name might not even be in the city or something like that. I think they move around. They do that with NBA. It's so confusing. You're telling me let's say you're called the Chicago Lions, but you play in New York or something like that. I think something like that. Am I wrong? I could be wrong now. Tell me.
no gas stations. 106 miles on a section of interstate in the US with no gas stations. 106 miles on I-70. I-70 ends over 2,000 miles away in Baltimore, Maryland, and the entire state of Maryland has 0 natural lakes. It also has this panhandle that reaches a minimum width of 1.8 miles before expanding back out to 30 miles width out near West Virginia, which is definitively a southern state, but also has this panhandle that reaches as far north as New York City and Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Minowi, Nebraska is the
I meant Nebraska when I was talking about Big Bang Theory. Me watching the show, I thought it's Dakota. It's in Nebraska. That's the word. Nebraska. That's the place the girl's from.
only incorporated municipality in the United States that has a population of 1. The one resident, Elsie Eiler, is mayor and runs the library and tavern, which is granted a liquor license every
One.
year by Elsie herself. Tortilla Flat, Arizona
The fuck?
is 6 times larger than Minowi since it has 6 residents, and Arizona also has 1/4 of the Four Corners Monument, the only point where 4 states meet in the US. Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, which as a state, by law, still recognizes Pluto as a planet. New Mexico is typically the last state to vote in presidential primaries, whereas Iowa is usually the first. Iowa is the only state in the US whose eastern and western borders are both water, in this case rivers. The eastern border is the Mississippi River, which happens to be the namesake for Mississippi. The Mississippi River also flowed backwards for a full 24 hours in 2012 during Hurricane Isaac, but the Mississippi doesn't actually reach the ocean in Mississippi. It does so in Louisiana, home to the longest bridge over water in the world at 24 miles. That's so long that for 8 of those miles, you can't even see land on either side. One of the other longest bridges in the US is in North Carolina, the Virginia Dare Memorial Bridge, which carries cars out to Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers successfully flew a heavier-than-air aircraft for the first time in history. It was a 12-second, 120-foot flight. That's shorter than the wingspan of a Boeing 747. North Carolina's southern neighbor is South Carolina, although South Carolina isn't all that south, since more than half of it is north of North Carolina's southernmost point, and South Carolina also has a town called North, making it North South Carolina. South Carolina was the site of the first Civil War battle, and the Civil War ended up having a total of 1 battle over in Indiana, where the Indy 500 Speedway is, which is so enormous that you could comfortably fit the entire country of the Vatican inside it.
Wow.
It can also fit 400,000 people, which is the highest capacity of any sports arena in the world. Indiana's state beverage is water, while Oregon's is milk. Portland, Oregon is also home to the world's smallest park, according to the Guinness World Records book, Mill End Park. Oregon is also one of the few states to not have a sales tax, along with New Hampshire, the only state to have no law requiring adults to wear seatbelts.
What?
Connecticut Lake in New Hampshire is the
What? Why? Why not? That's crazy. Some laws needs to be changed. What do you mean? New Hampshire, you can't. It's okay for you. So if the police stop me wearing seatbelts, you don't have to. It's not compulsory. Have a safe drive. It's that it. I'm sure people still wear it, but there's some people that just be like, oh, we're not allowed. That's crazy.
the source of the Connecticut
we're not
River,
allowed.
which is what Connecticut, the state, is named after. Hartford, Connecticut's airport, at less than 3 million passengers per year, is the smallest airport in the US to have a direct flight.
Aer Lingus. That's the national airline of Ireland. Aer Lingus. Although I prefer Ryanair because Ryanair is cheap. I think Ryanair is probably your... What's that airline you guys use again? Is it Southern? What's it called again? What's that cheap airline you guys love in America? You guys always complain. It's not Delta. It's Southern Airlines, Southeast, something like that.
Flight to Europe. Delaware, on the other hand, certainly doesn't have a direct flight to Europe since it's the only state that you can't fly to. There's not one commercial flight in or out of this tiny state.
Wow.
It's the second smallest state behind Rhode Island, which is so small that the entire state grows by 3% during low tide. Rhode Island's second largest city, Warwick, shares its name with Warwick, Pennsylvania, and in Pennsylvania is Centralia, where the ground has been on fire since 1962 due to a coal mine fire, and it's expected to burn for over 200 years.
What?
Pennsylvania borders Minnesota. Well, not really, but Pennsylvania Avenue does intersect Minnesota Avenue in DC,
Minnesota.
and Minnesota is home to the northernmost point in the lower 48.
See, I knew about Minnesota from watching How I Met Your Mother. One of the lads, what's the guy's name from there? The tall, big guy. Because you're always talking about Minnesota, college days and all that. That's the reason why I know about Minnesota. See, most of my knowledge of America is from watching shows, pretty much.
See, most of the US-Canada border is defined by the 49th parallel, but a surveying error led to this. The couple hundred residents of this area, called the Northwest Angle, are completely cut off from the US and need to pass into Canada, then back into the United States to go to school.
Wow.
Also in northern Minnesota is Virginia, the town,
Why you
but
living
Virginia, the state, is massive. So massive that Ewing, Virginia is closer to 8 other state capitals than to its own state capital, Richmond. Alexandria, Virginia is actually closer to Toronto, Canada than it is to Ewing, Virginia.
Toronto.
Virginia also happens to go farther west than West Virginia. Virginia is also home to this place, the headquarters of the teaching company who run the Great Courses Plus. And with that super smooth transition, I do have to thank the Great Courses Plus for sponsoring this video. The Great
Oh,
Courses
sick.
Plus is a subscription video on-demand learning service where you can watch top-notch lectures from
Yeah.
experts from Ivy League universities, National Geographic, the Smithsonian, by National Geographic, called National.
Ain't gonna lie, that was sick.
Patreon.com is closer to Los Angeles
Check
than
out-
it is to Houston.
Check out that channel. That's a lovely channel. I'm gonna subscribe to that channel. Boy, great. Just the way they went around. Oh my god, just dropping each state in. Beautiful storytelling, editing, absolutely amazing. I love that. Yeah, I think this is the way I'm using to learn about the US. Just watching videos like this. Let me know what videos you guys want me to check out, and I'll check it out. What's my favorite states? I don't know, because every state has something. Like I've learned so many things today. Do you know what I mean? What state is it? Delaware that flights don't come in, or is it New Hampshire? Delaware that flights don't come in. What states don't have any water? Is it Baltimore? Probably Baltimore. Is it probably Baltimore? And then I also found out Chicago is not a state. That Chicago is in Illinois. How crazy? I never knew that. Thank God I never said that to anyone. Imagine. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in America very soon. Bye bye.